I need help, boss.
We're the NSAA. We're never serious about anything except grip ball.
3D printed shell.
I have drifted an aircraft carrier.
What?
To an extent, but you'd be out there alone as fuck. There's no.
Just bumping into people by osmosis of dopeness, you know?
3, 2,
We speak English,
1.
too. That's awesome.
We're going.
Awesome. Oh,
Welcome,
God.
everybody. It's another episode of Happy Hoodlums. I'm Kemper Woodruff. We have the lovely Elizabeth Nguyen, and then we have Zack Sampson, the almighty down there. And yeah, Liz is an incredible creator, and her art is always astounding. Whenever it pops up on my Instagram feed, I'm super happy, and she's been creating a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce this right, but it's RaunTheWonderer.
It's RaunTheWonderer. You're very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about that and how you've been since school. We all met when we were in film school together, and I would spy on Liz. I would sit one row behind her and watch her create her artwork and always be like, I don't even understand how she does it.
I can't believe I never noticed you doing that because I literally, all of the cool guys sat in the back, and so I was just like, oh, that's fine. I could turn around, talk to them. It's nice that they sit behind me so they're accessible to me. But yeah, I've just been, I opened a small business during the pandemic, doing stickers and prints and stuff like that. And I've been using my screen name, which is RaunTheWonderer. This has been like my screen name since I was probably 14. It's based off of Lord of the Rings and the Elvish language, and I have a great love for that world. And I started this business as kind of just a way to start doing something I loved, and um, surprisingly, it's still going. I'm kind of amazed that I'm still doing stuff. I've got a convention this week, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and I have plans to do some new stuff, but I'm not quite ready to reveal that yet because I got a lot of work to do. But I'm hoping to continue with my business and try to make it something big one day.
Heck yeah.
What's
Yeah.
the convention?
Yeah.
It's a WasabiCon Marketplace in Portland. It's a smaller one. I'm sharing a booth with one of my friends who goes by Natsukashi Art on Instagram. And we kind of decided to do it last minute. So we're splitting a table and hopefully get some visibility out of that. And it's always a really fun event. I did regular WasabiCon last year in August, and it was pretty successful for me. And so I'm really excited to be able to do another one.
Do people come dressed up?
They do. There are a lot of cosplayers. I don't cosplay myself, but it's amazing to see all the people who do, and they come by. And specifically for these conventions, I try to pop out a lot of relevant stickers of like the favorite animes of the season. And so when I have people who come cosplayed from those animes that are like a little more obscure, they get super excited, and I absolutely love that because then I'm like, oh yeah, we can relate. This is someone who's also seen this really obscure anime that no one knows or likes, and it's really cool. And I always get pictures with them. They're very sweet people.
How much of the stuff that you do is like 100% original versus like something where you're like, oh, I'm gonna do my version of say like Pikachu or whatever it may be, you know?
Yeah. I'd say a good majority of the work I do is like fan based. The first collection I ever released of my stickers was Studio Ghibli. Um, I mean that's always like definitely a conflict with like artists doing a lot of fan art. Probably it's like 2080. I'll have a lot of stickers that I do not that are not based on something else. Um, I do have a few original prints that I've done for this convention that I'm going to premiere at the convention, and I'm hoping to get some positive feedback on that. I'm trying to move more in the direction of not selling just fan art, and it's a bit of a process. It always takes a long time. Um, but I'm also like learning that doing things that are fan art aren't so bad. Like it's not such a bad thing if I could put my own twist on it too.
Oh yeah, there's no knock at
Yeah.
all. It's always really cool when you see it,
Yeah.
especially from a fan's perspective when you're like, "Yo, I love that." And it's like a totally different take than what you would get if it came straight from like the creator source or
Yeah.
whatever,
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
once they brand stuff, sometimes it just doesn't come out right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that love isn't there, and so that fan art is like totally necessary.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Mhm.
there are some things that I've seen fan art that is like significantly better than the original stuff. And I'm like, man, I wish this whole anime was illustrated this way. No hate to original, the original animators or illustrators or anything like that. But sometimes I see some people's art style and I'm very jealous. It's pretty insane how good some people are.
Yeah. You'd be surprised how many guns out there are spray painted like Deadpool stuff or,
Yeah.
like Star Wars things.
There's a
Yeah.
dude at my gym who's got a lifting belt, and he
Hmm.
Mhm.
drew anime characters on his lifting belt.
Dude, that's
That's
awesome. I
awesome.
love that.
Yeah,
It's great.
this dude's massive too. He can deadlift
Yeah.
like almost 700 pounds. It's absolutely
Holy
insane.
shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Hey, some
great.
people that fall in love, like, especially with, like, comic book stuff, they're just down to become Hulk-like,
Oh,
yeah,
you
for
yeah.
real.
know?
Yeah.
Like, they just love that,
Yeah,
like, going Dragon Ball Z in that bitch, you know?
Super
Yeah.
Saiyan 4, whatever it is.
That's, like,
Mhm.
mega inspirational to me too, like, I've gained a bit of weight since the last time we've all seen each other. I've gained quite a bit of weight over, like, COVID, and, sometimes I see cosplayers out there and I'm like, "Man, I wanna get back in shape." I want to look like an anime character, but at the same time, I'm, like, very happy with my weight. I feel a lot better than I did when I was much thinner, so
You can do anything. You will always be an adorable little lady, so
thank
don't
you, I
worry.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I always think about, when, like, in our first year, something like that, I remember Zach and I used to talk a lot, and he was talking about how he was, bulking up for the winter, and I don't know why when I was younger, I just thought, like, I'm like, I'm skinny, I have no fat on me, I totally can get muscles out of nowhere, and, like, I technically have been bulking up a bit, and so I think I'm ready to start weightlifting and stuff. I do have some, like, workout equipment, but it's not going too well. I've been kinda busy.
Yeah.
But
I
maybe one
fully
day.
support it. A huge
Thank you.
recommendation is if you do go to like a commercial gym,
Mhm.
possibly look into the investment of a trainer. There's so much help on like the
Yeah.
guidance and shit. Since I
Mhm.
got a trainer, all of my aspects of fitness have just skyrocketed through the roof. Like
Yeah, that's
compared to like
great.
the last 7 years I've been working out, the
Mhm.
trainer's like exponential growth. So
Okay.
I
How
endorse it.
do you feel like, do you feel any, like, amount of anxiety in working with the trainer or
Well, fortunately, because I also work at the gym that the trainer works at,
Oh, there you
I
go.
got to know him a little bit. I got to
Mhm.
know all the trainers really, and I got to know their
Mhm.
personality styles, and I just kind of picked the one that worked best for me.
Yeah, that's
Um,
great.
so I wouldn't like if you're gonna go pick a trainer, I would definitely talk to like as many of them as you can and like figure out who they are, their
Mhm.
communication style, how they're gonna break things down to you, kind of get
Yeah.
that whole like relationship built a little bit, figure out
Yeah.
who they are too. So it's like, but I can see how it would be stressful or like have anxiety attached to it because it's like now I got to work out in front of someone and
Yeah,
they're
definitely.
actively critiquing me now.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
yeah, but they're also
that's
critiquing you to help you. That's
Yeah,
yeah,
the thing.
and
definitely.
it's for your safety too,
Yeah.
like, because if you can do these things safely and comfortably, like, you'll get it over time. You'll get stronger over time, and
Oh,
your
for sure.
body, it's hard, every step of the way, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
That's the whole process of it, you know?
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
chasing and that edge is just kinda, like, ever moving, because your body's gonna continue to adapt. Like
Yeah.
even from side to side, one side may be like way more dominant than the other,
Mhm.
but when they're forced to move the same amount of weight over time, that's gonna kind of even out just by necessity.
Definitely. I think that
That's total bro science.
yeah.
Zach would probably know way more than me.
I
But
even if you're doing a bar, like if you're benching, right, and you got two hands
Mhm.
on the bar, your right arm still might be dominant.
Yeah.
So your right
Huh.
arm
yeah,
might lead. So your right arm might go up a little bit faster, and you'll end up
Mhm.
like this, like locking out one elbow, and then a second
Mhm.
later locking out the next one.
Huh. Okay,
yeah.
But
interesting.
yeah, but in
You know,
essence, weightlifting will help that.
yeah,
Sorry.
if I ever come back to the area, I might just find you and have you be my personal trainer because that would definitely be much more comfortable for me, I think.
Oh, for sure. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I was going down that route at one point.
Yeah.
Um, I just really bad at tests, so I was like, nah, I'll
What are
pass.
you doing? What are you doing now?
Well, I work at the gym.
Mhm.
I actually occasionally work for Craig still. I do some
Great.
editing
That's
for him.
good. Mhm.
During the summers, which is actually about to start picking up paint houses.
Nice.
Um, and then work on Wonderful Entertainment with Kemper.
Yeah, that's
You,
great. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so we're killing it.
Great.
Trying to anyway.
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, you guys are killing it. I've seen like the stickers you put out. Like when you got that design out, I was like, "Holy shit, I didn't know Zach had this talent." And I was so surprised, but I mean, delightfully surprised. It was so cool.
Zach's the man when it came to everything like that really was like technically created from
Yeah,
Wonderful.
that's
It all
great.
came through his fingertips for real.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys always do great work. I mean, you guys been doing great work since we were in school together. So I'm glad to see you guys still doing stuff together. It's always awesome to see where everyone has ended up. It's kind of crazy where some people have ended up, but
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking Nick is doing competitive barbecuing.
Wait, is he seriously?
I love it.
He's done it
I
a few
love it.
times. I don't know if he's still
No
doing it, but
way.
he's
I
like
have not seen any of
he's
that.
got a Traeger smoker or grill or something, and he's going
What the
in on
hell?
it. Traeger's expensive as
Dude.
fuck, by the way. It's like it's like the
Oh
Ari
yeah, I know.
of
This
of
yeah,
grills.
We all got to meet up again sometime. That would be great. Have a class reunion. I
for
That
real.
know.
is.
Yeah, I know. Megan goes by Eugene now. Is out in. They're out somewhere in the Midwest now, and then I don't. Have you guys heard from Jake?
Jake is
No.
doing, from what I know, he's doing his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But
Haven't.
I do know that we created this podcast also in part to kind of pay homage to the cool people that we know um, who might not get their shine uh, right away.
That's
And
so
we
sweet of you
already know
guys.
who they are. So we want to help like lift them up. And that's why like for this episode talking about all the cool things that you do, like do you have any artwork lying around that you can show us, any sketches like where it starts, or is it all digital now?
It's all digital now. I don't do anything on paper anymore. It's kind of crazy. There was a point in time where everything was on paper, and now I'm almost exclusively digital. I don't do drafts so much anymore, but I do have. I mean, I got some stuff you guys can look at. I've got my tablet in front of me if you want. Should have maybe sent these to you guys beforehand, but
Oh, it's all good.
um,
There's a way to like screen share too. I don't know how to
I
do it.
let me see if I can. Oh God, you know. Any chords around here, but maybe I could send this to myself.
If not,
Um,
we can always pull stuff off of
yeah.
Instagram.
Oh, that
Yeah,
would,
for
yeah,
sure.
that would totally work too. I, honestly, I don't have so much work that I don't have as much original art as I used to, and I kind of feel a little ashamed about it, I guess. I don't have as many big, like wide scale things. I've been doing a lot of commissions, and that always ends up being kind of draining for me. Um, and they always tend to be things that I can't always share. Oh, actually, you know what? What I can
All
do
those
is
pins and stuff, like, I
Mhm.
got a whole little, like, sheet of stickers from you. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I put them up everywhere.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, those were
appreciate that.
cool. The,
Thank you.
like,
I appreciate
Halloween
that.
edition and stuff.
Yeah. I try my best. I
How'd you
appreciated that you Oh, sorry,
how'd
go
you
ahead.
figure out getting into, like, the business and, like, facilitating all that stuff?
Yeah. Um, I think I originally was inspired to do it by TikTok actually. There was like a big
Mm,
movement in 2020 of people who are like, "Hey, you're not working. You can make a lot of money doing stickers or you can make some money making stickers." And there were just a few people that I really enjoyed on TikTok that I followed. I mean, social media is does so much for people these days. I mean, we all learned it when we were younger, but in 2020 and 2022, TikTok and Instagram are really big inspirations as far as entering that world goes. And so I was inspired by certain creators on there. I can't remember them now, but I actually reached out to them and I asked them about how they did it. I looked into the types of paper I should use for Christmas that year. So originally I had my stickers. I sent my stickers out and got them developed, but I actually print them and have them cut here myself. My partner got me a silhouette, which is a cutting machine, um, for Christmas that year. And so I actually produce as much as possible here in my own college apartment.
nice.
Yeah, I didn't notice that pile of clothing was in the corner until we started. And I was like, oh shit.
Uh,
Um,
that's okay,
yeah,
My
we're
whole
all
bed's
human.
covered in clothes, so it's all right.
your guys'
Yeah,
setups look much better than mine. Zach's room looks super cool, dude. I have like the typical like, oh, I'm a broke college student,
I'm
and
sitting
everything's
on
just
my
going on back there.
floor, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, he's on the floor, so.
It looks better than mine. um, but yeah, I from there I did some research into like what kind of paper I should use. I opt to use sticker paper instead of vinyl. Um, I know that vinyl is probably it holds up better, it feels better, it looks better to a lot of people. But I'm actually trying to move away from creating as much waste as possible. I'm trying to move away from just plastics and stuff.
Okay.
So I used to laminate my stickers. I'm actually moving into doing fully paper stickers, and the paper I use is at least I've stress tested it a bit, and it's waterproof, it's tear proof, and um yeah, honestly, just like a lot of research ultimately. And then once the ball got rolling, um, it was really easy, and I haven't changed my process much in the past year or so. Um, Yeah, I started doing candles too, slowly. Happens
What?
really slowly. Yeah, I've got a
That's
Okay.
few of them on
dope.
my page. I have in my apartment, I've got this tiny room. There's this closet on the other side of that wall actually. Not through that door, but on the other side of the wall there's a tiny closet that's probably big enough for like a twin bed. And no one else wanted to use it, so I use it as a little candle room and I've got a big like wax melting pot and I've got tons of tins and scents and dyes and all that. I've got mica powder in there. That shit's volatile. It's so hard to deal with when it's in the air. Mica powder is like it's practically like I guess it's essentially glitter. It's hard to tell what it is, but you know,
Well,
it
glitter
if
gets everywhere.
it
For
does, and
real.
when you're in like a small space with no ventilation, it's kind of difficult to deal with. I do wear a mask when I'm making stuff, but um, the process takes a little while and sometimes it's a little painful. Like it's a little overwhelming occasionally, but um, I've been trying my best to explore new things, and I'm actually setting out on like a new venture and trying to move away from the stickers. And uh, I still kind of want to do prints and the candles, but um, I took a business class last term, and I kind
Mhm.
of developed this new concept that it's coming together slowly, but hoping to set off in a new direction and learn new skills.
You're
That's
super
dope as fuck.
capable, so, like,
Thank you.
naturally, you will. Um, for real. If like you're just being resourceful. You're out of like your little apartment still running a business while going to school. That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's
So
fun. It's definitely overwhelming sometimes. I've got school and I've got a part-time job too, and then I've got my small business, but I really enjoy it. I enjoy the hustle these days.
yeah.
Yeah.
Staying busy definitely like keeps you out of trouble,
Yeah.
and constantly having like a new bar and a new goal for yourself will keep you in line, because like once you have a way to quantify what you're doing, things can become more substantial.
Yeah,
Every
definitely.
little, like on a microscopic level,
Mhm.
rather than just having everything so nebulous that you're like, oh well, I'll do it someday. No, you can do it right now.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like it starts in little ways. You might not do the whole kit and caboodle, but even if you get like halfway there and you fail, like you'll get there, or you're more apt to be there or start where you left off just because you're a little bit farther.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love that concept too. I mean, um, I don't know if I've ever told you guys what I'm studying these days, but I'm a double major in philosophy and I'm doing education with a focus in language arts now. It's been a really good time and I'm in
Damn.
this yeah. It's a big 360 from what I used to do, I guess, but I love that concept. I actually just came from a class I have called Death and Dying. Um and we talked about um how much would change if you only had like 3 weeks to live and how we always put things off. We always say we're going to do it tomorrow or we're going to do it eventually. And we never get to it. And when I was younger, I was definitely that way where I was like, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to get something done eventually. And, um, after a while, I kind of got tired of pushing things off until later. And, um, I try my best to do everything I want to now, even if it doesn't always work out, even if I end up failing. I enjoy trying more than just saying I'm gonna try one day.
Mm,
Yeah.
well, bravo. That was well
Thank
said.
you. Thank you. Nowhere
Yeah.
near as eloquent as you. You've always been great with your words, Kemper.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I always do the best that I can.
Confuses the
Um,
fuck out of me sometimes, but
I've always thought the way that Kemper speaks is beautiful. I have such a problem with getting my words out, but
I
the
call Zach, and I'm like halfway down a rabbit hole when I call him. So like when he picks up the phone, it's like almost like a baton. Like I'm already running. Like, here you go.
I'm gonna
yeah.
hand this off to you. Wait, why aren't you running, Zach?
So Zach always has to like slow me down when I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah. I mean, you have so many great ideas in your head. Like, I mean, who could stop you, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like trying to organize it. I remember walking up to JD,
Hmm.
and it always comes back to this for me. Like, because I spent many years around JD,
Yeah.
um, and I had to come back. So I was around JD for like 4 years or something
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
And when I would first walk up to him, I would always be like, JD, I got this idea, because I thought so highly of him. He was so knowledgeable about everything. Like,
Hmm.
you could ask him about any industry, like music, film, or anything culture, like pictures, anything. He knew it. Um, and he could really break it down for you. So I would be like, JD, I got this idea. And he would be like, where is it? And I was like, it's in my head. And he goes, oh, that's the worst place. And would just walk away from me. And I would be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, and I thought it was like a diss for a long time. But eventually, like, he did it one too many times. I was like, JD, why do you keep doing that? And he was like, dude, like, don't you realize if you put it on paper, like, it becomes real? Like, then you
Yeah.
can organize it. When it's in your head, you can't organize it. So, like, when you're trying to tell me something, like, it's not even real yet. And,
Yeah.
like, I was like, what? But what he was really getting across to me is like when that inspiration strikes, if you just act upon it, it's gonna like really blow you away.
Yeah, definitely.
What comes out of that. And from there, you just look at the pieces and you go, all right, well, what in here was like the true goal?
Hmm.
And try and like fit this construct in a way that people can even receive it in a way that you can make something out of it for yourself first.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what translates to the people.
Yeah, I think those definitely being in those programs really, I think, humbled all of us. We all had so many. We always thought we had like the best ideas. I remember our freshman year, and we were doing. You guys remember those run and gun assignments, the guerrilla assignments that crap posted
Yeah.
that Jack had us do?
Yeah.
Oh God, those were always such a wreck.
The A
And
to B, the chase scene.
yeah.
Hold
Yeah.
on. What made you get into the whole philosophy switch, though?
Oh yeah, it's definitely it's a big transition for sure. I think you guys might remember at the 2018 I really started to fall off a bit. Kind of towards the end there. My cousin um I mean, I guess it's not that much of a problem to say. My cousin killed himself that spring.
Oh,
Um
I'm sorry.
and it was yeah, it's okay. It's been a while now and we've all come to terms with it. But at the time it was something that was really difficult for me to cope with. Um, but
Hmm.
I felt such a need to finish with the program. Um, but the reality of death was kind of staring me in the face, and um, him and I we were the same age. He was born
Hmm.
in January, and I was born in September, and although we were never close, the idea that he always seemed like there were things he wanted to do with his life. Um, And I couldn't really figure out what had driven him to do what he did, um, or what made him believe that life wasn't worth continuing to live. And I kind of went down this rabbit, um, examining you know, the the concept of mortality and the concept of death, and it became a great interest to me. And at the same time, I was having a lot of crazy relationship problems. I think you guys remember that too. Um,
Hmm.
everything that had happened in the spring of 2018 was it was incredibly stressful, and it really made me step back and look at my own life
You're
really
really
hard.
capable.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, we're so limited on time, and I I spent a lot of time thinking after that. I tried to move on. I tried to get a job. And I had a full-time job outside of our industry, of course, throughout the summer. And, toward as winter started creeping up, I couldn't really keep it together anymore. And I took a break and I did a lot of contemplating. I spent a lot of time actually just reading philosophy. I started watching philosophy videos, looking into death, looking into happiness and how to live a fulfilling life and all this stuff. And I was trying to search for meaning. Um, and it's kind of when I realized that my I found the most meaning in examining what it was to look for meaning and all the possibilities. Um, and so I decided I would go into philosophy. I realized the best place for me, the most stable place for me was probably, for one, to be back in school. My goal when I started going back to school uh, was to teach philosophy. I still intend to do that. Um,
Hmm.
but But yeah, it was I guess it was just the desire to learn more and to know more and to have the time to examine. Because you could go out and you can get a job and you could try to contemplate things in your free time, but I wanted more. I wanted to focus. I wanted someone to tell me what I should look at and what I should do. Um, I'm not good at, I guess, paving my own way with some things, and so I wanted some direction on how I could delve into the world of philosophy. And it's my probably
Mm.
my it's my third year. I'm coming up on my junior year here, and um, I feel much more stable as a person now. I mean, there are parts of me that are still very immature. Like I'm always late. I'm not good at setting deadlines. Every time I tell someone I'm gonna be somewhere, I mean, I try my
Well,
best to be there, but sometimes I don't show up, and some things don't change. When we were all in college, I showed up late with a cup of coffee in my hand every morning.
You,
So,
you know what? That reminds me of something one of our older guests said.
hmm
Brian, he said that even you can utilize someone's weaknesses, or you
yeah,
can utilize, or you can think about their weaknesses, or you can think about their strengths, right?
yeah,
So if you're
hmm
consistently late, you know
hmm
you're consistently late. So if you can work around that and just be
hmm
as consistent as you can after that,
yeah.
you're a strong worker.
Yeah, definitely. I did try to correct my lateness. I'm still working to figure it out. I'm better at not being late to things these days. It's more like I'm 10 minutes late rather than, like an hour or so, which is, I'm working on it and
You're at
I
least
feel more
making it to
responsible.
class.
Yeah, I am.
That's the
I'm
important
getting there.
part.
Yes, it's true. I
that's
don't
what-
think I missed classes when we were younger, but I actually don't even remember anymore. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
It's kind of crazy. We graduated in 2018 and it's 2022.
yeah.
Whoa.
It's
I
so
know.
weird. That's 4 years. Oh man.
But everybody's not so scattered, you
Yeah.
know. I've been able to talk to most of the people within the class,
hmm
um, and so I'm hoping that I can reach out. I really wonder what Helen's doing. I hope that
Oh
Helen's a
gosh,
movie
yeah.
star.
From
I
what I
do
know,
Um,
she
too.
went back to Africa, wherever. I don't know what
Oh,
country she was from, but that
I
was the
yeah.
hope
last
she's
thing I heard.
balling.
Yeah, I know that was always her goal to go back and make films, so hope that's I hope she's doing good. I know Matt's doing some stuff and Ben was always Ben C.
Big cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
He's
cat.
always been he was already in the industry from the very beginning.
Hmm.
He
He's
was on
doing
his
everything he
shit.
wanted. Oh
Miguel's
man.
working in the industry still, except
Oh
he's on a
god,
trip
yeah.
right now.
Oh
He's
my
in
gosh.
Thailand right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Man, that's
I
crazy.
I have a question though.
hmm
So, well, I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Um, but after getting into like philosophy, what are your thoughts on God and religion? Like, like, do you believe? Are you religious? Are you a woman of like faith? Would you say you're just spiritual? How would you
Yeah.
define yourself?
I've actually had a really big focus on religion with my philosophical journey. I just came out of a chain of religious classes in the let's see. In the fall I did an idea of God class, and then in the winter I actually did a religious seminar, which was really fun. And um, we did examine the concept of, it's like, it's such a weird idea because people have this concept of what religion is, and then there's this other concept of what religion really is. Um, I consider myself religious, but not in the way that um, a lot of people do. I think that Socially, we've painted religion to be what we know as institutional religion in Catholicism, Buddhism, Hinduism, the Abrahamic religions, stuff like that. But I actually just had to defend this for my final essay. I personally believe that to be religious is to have a dedication to something. Personally, I do have a dedication to God. And not a god of any specific faith. I do believe that there is someone in my corner, um, up there, but I don't consider God to be an omnipotent power that judges me harshly in any way. I think that God's my friend. But I know that uh, most people who consider themselves religious in an institutional sense won't necessarily see that as religious. But from my personal perspective, I consider myself religious. I consider myself a woman of God, even though it's not quite traditional. Um, yeah,
That is a phenomenal fucking answer.
yeah. We gotta talk some more about that
You-
sometime, because I have so much. I've studied so much now on religion, even though it's not the sole focus of my full
well,
focus of my studies. But
no, that was so well said.
thank
Um,
you.
you know, that's a great sign that you have chosen the right path,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And you're doing what you're supposed to do, and everything gets used. That's one
Yes.
thing I can tell you.
Mhm.
You might think it's something super small, but it's really preparing you. Like, and it might be hilarious. Like, down the line when you're looking to get a job somewhere and you go in and on that person's desk is something that's like an anime character. It's something
Yeah.
that, and you're like, oh, all right, I know this kind of person, and now you knock it out of the park because
Yeah.
you're comfortable in this meeting. Like, it can be something so small, but it really, like, it's perfectly planted.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how that does happen. I've had a few opportunities come up because of just being in the right place at the right time. I've got I think two open commissions right now. I've got this working relationship um with this organization called the Peace Literacy Institute. Really cool stuff. They're a philosophical nonprofit. And their intention is to teach tolerance in lower education, so K through 12. Um, their goal is to teach people that if you approach people in a peaceful way, essentially, um, they will meet you with kindness. And I mean, we've solved so many conflicts with anger, with judgment and all that. And, um, everyone deserves to have their opinion heard, and people tend to lash out when they feel like they're not being heard. Um, And then, that just causes greater conflict. And so their goal is to teach people that like what matters is that we communicate. What matters is that we don't judge and that we talk and we learn to compromise and when we learn to do those things, we're going to achieve world peace. Um and I met one of the leaders of the organization through a philosophy class I was taking. She was my instructor, and she learned that I, did art, and so I've done quite a few commissions for them at this point. I've been doing a lot of work for them over the past year or so. And so
Hmm.
that's like, a really great working relationship where just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I was like, I think we are just doing introductions, and I was like, I do art. And she's like, "Oh, do you?" Because I want to see it, and if you do it well, I want to commission stuff from you. And we've been working together for almost a year now, and it's kind of crazy.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's
That's
It's been
awesome.
freaking cool.
yeah, it's pretty neat. I feel
Uh, oh, sorry. I was
No,
gonna
no,
say,
go ahead.
uh, my other question is,
Mm,
have you ever tried any psychedelics? Like,
mm,
have you ever done mushrooms
mhm.
or, ayahuasca or any kind of thing like that?
I've never done a single drug in my entire life, unless actually, when I was a kid, I used to huff my inhaler, but that's that's not quite the same thing. Oh god, when I was a little kid, so I have asthma and so do my sisters. And when I was a kid,
Mhm.
my mom would be like, "Okay, go use your inhaler so you don't die." And once I just puffed the thing one too many times, I was like, "Man, this is making the world bounce."
Yeah.
That was weird, but I think that's it's such a funny memory, and I didn't realize it was substance abuse until I got old. But otherwise, I've never done anything. I'm 100% sober. I don't like drinking apparently. I had my first drink. Well, technically, I think I first time I really drank alcohol was when we were at our graduation party and stuff.
Graduation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I only had a tiny bit of like, hard lemonade or whatever. And then on my 21st, I had alcohol and I hated it. I can't do even one shot without turning bright red. So next time we hang out, you guys got to see my really cool party trick
Well,
because
shots
I can,
suck.
dude. No shots, they do. I had a mixed drink like when my partner's parents were in town and we went out. And I was like, I'll have a mixed drink. Maybe it'll be better. And I chugged it at the died on my couch that day because I can't handle my alcohol, and
Yeah. Hey,
yeah.
it's technically like poison, I guess, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, and that's the thing, like I just ask because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Um w- like I know I've had some experiences with things where
Mhm.
I'm like, whoa, it can kind of like shift your understanding of reality, and you can start looking into different things. Like, have you ever heard of I think it's called like the Fibonacci sequence or
Yeah,
something
the
like that?
Fibonacci sequence, yeah. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
like that is fascinating.
Yes, definitely.
And it's like how things grow perfectly
Mhm.
in spirals, and how there's like a space for everything, and everything expands like proportionately. It's
Yeah.
fucking mad interesting.
Yeah, no, I think it's I mean, there's so much that's so interesting and um I don't condemn anyone who does any substances. I think it's actually really cool. Um I think it's because I'm a bit of a wimp. I'm kind of scared of some things. I'm scared of trying new things every now and then. And
They are
um,
scary sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, they are. Let me tell you
but
what.
but I think it's really cool that like there are so many new experiences that can be opened up. I took a class called transhumanism. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that concept.
Never.
Um,
No, hit me
but
with it.
yeah, it's this idea that it's a subject technically. It's like a sub compartment of philosophy and ethics and medical fields and stuff. And um, the idea is that people who consider themselves transhumanists and people who subscribe to transhumanism philosophy want to move past what it is to be human. And there are so many means by which people try to do that. Some people try to strengthen their own physical bodies beyond the point of, human possibility. There are people who have been looking into the development of robotics and turning into um, within that category, I look to transcend their own humanity through substance use. And so I learned a little bit about ayahuasca. I learned a little bit about psychedelics and the big movements. And you know, I find that stuff so intriguing. And I don't know if you guys know, but in Oregon now they're moving towards using um, they're I believe they have legalized it for guided psychedelic use for people to use with the help of someone like as like a therapist. I don't know exactly what the
Like a
plan is.
certified guide
Yeah,
type
they're
person, yeah.
yeah, and to make sort of as a form of therapy and self-discovery. um I think that's so amazing, and I know that I'm just such a wimp because I'm scared to try it. um but like
No,
God, some people
I
go
I
through so
think
much.
I think when you're ready to try different things, if it's meant to be, it will be,
Yeah,
and it's never anything you need to force.
yeah, of course.
And if
It's
you feel that way, like, then don't.
it's kind of like
Um,
when I tried mushrooms with Kemper for the first time.
Hmm.
We always come back to this, but we were having a conversation in Miguel's car
Hmm.
and I told both of them the only time I would ever want to do mushrooms is if I was with both of them. And Kemper
Hmm.
says, "Well, I have a mushroom candy bar in my house," and
But
then it
can I
just
tell you the truth? I
what?
didn't want I didn't want to take it, but I knew that I had it, and the fact that Zach said he wanted to take it, I knew that I had to do it.
Oh my God.
'Cause it
Kemper.
was only right, and I'm not I'm not lying to you right now. Like I had to do it. Like it
It
was
was
a
an
spiritual
amazing
rite of
time.
passage, and I just happened to the tables had finally turned on me. And I said, "Shit, this is what happens sometimes." The karmic loop. I was like, "All right, we're doing this shit. I guess today's the day." You know. And Meeks
Oh
was there,
God.
so it was like, all right, the three amigos, let's do this shit.
Oh my God. How
Miguel,
was it? Did you guys
it
did
was
you
it
guys
was
have a good trip?
it was a good time.
It's
Oh
good.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's good to hear.
It was really fun.
I've There are a lot of horror stories about how it goes wrong, but I mean that just means that
Oh, for real.
you guys felt safe with each other. You guys are all in a good place, so that's a great thing to hear.
There's
Oh yeah.
a
You go for a
documentary.
walk.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. We went on a walk on Mount Tabor.
Oh
That
wow.
was a great time.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
good.
Felt like
Mhm.
the longest hike of my life, but it was a good time. Um,
Yeah.
but there's a
Mhm.
documentary on Netflix called Fantastic Fungi.
I've seen that.
So
I love
good.
that.
It
It's so
explores
good.
that idea of like using mushrooms as a therapy with a guided person.
Yeah, absolutely.
The and then all this other crazy stuff about non-hallucinogenic mushrooms is amazing. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great documentary. Like literally almost like I hear it come up like at least once a week and I know it's been a while since it came out, so guess that's just a testament to how good it is. Not a lot of people. I'm glad people are more open to watching documentaries than they used to be because I know that in the past a lot of people were like, "Oh, documentaries are old, documentaries are boring," and now,
they used to
you
be.
know, they did used to be.
Nowadays they're fun and cool.
They're so good now. It's crazy. It's crazy what people have done and how that field has developed. I remember when we were watching in that class, he only showed us mega old documentaries, and we were like,
Yeah.
I did like them, I will say. Um, but it's crazy to see how things change with the times and how dynamic some documentaries are now.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
Yeah.
they for real learned how to capture people.
Oh yeah.
So,
I took this class called American Film History with this teacher Lydia Yuknovich. She is the coolest. Um, but it was really interesting because it was almost like that whole course was a documentary of like almost like the history of American film, you
Yeah.
know? And it explained it through like pop culture
Hmm.
and everything. And it was just so interesting to see the evolution of it to like where we are today, where now everybody's making content. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
like the most beautiful part of it. You can't oversaturate. There's so many people that need to be discovered, that need to have a chance to shine, and that cross pollination and everything is like how things are just gonna bloom and blossom naturally,
Yeah.
just like anything else in life. But it's just kind of taking a digital route now.
Hmm.
um, and like it's still blowing me away that we do this every week, and I'm always like, yo, we just get on the computers, and I'm always so stoked to tell people. And it's so funny when people like yourself, you're like, yeah, I'll meet you on Discord, but to me I'm like, you know how to do it, like, all right, you don't need no instructions. Most of the people are like, yeah, dude, but I'm
It's
still blown
okay.
away by it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like the way technology has developed in the past 20 years is insane. It's come so far. Like, I mean, there are some things like I mean, I still can't figure out how to use Zoom sometimes. That shit's kind of weird.
I've used it
Um,
once. No thanks.
I mean, like, I prefer Discord a lot more. It handles capacity much better. I've been in classes of like hundreds of people, and you get like just this like flat screen of like a million faces, and I don't like it because I'm like, I don't like big classrooms. I'm so bad with big classrooms, and Zoom's functions are all weird, and I have a hard time. They have this like, there's this. I mean, because I've been in university since 2019, so I had this whole. Oh, now she's leaving. Um.
Yeah, your
Uh.
cat's adorable, by the way.
She is adorable. She's actually my friend's cat. She came here to stay with us after her family moved. And so, they moved to a place where they technically don't allow cats, and um my friend's girlfriend living is now living with his mother and brother, and she has allergies. So
That's a lot, but
sorry, sorry.
so we'll make sure that we got a drop down for your cat.
Yeah.
Wait, save this couch
I'm
surfing
sorry.
cat right now.
Yes,
We need
she's
food.
happy here. She loves being able to explore the house. She's adorable. She's a drama queen. But
She's
oh,
actually miserable. She's
honestly,
I'm
she from
That was dark,
in,
bro.
in her in her opinion, we starve her. We feed her so much. Like we have a feeding chart for her downstairs now, because when she first moved in, we didn't have one, and she would
Yeah.
beg us, and we're like, "Oh, you have," and then we'll check with the other people, and we're like, "I fed her like a whole can like an hour ago," and then someone else is like, "But I just fed her like just
She's a
now, a whole can. She ate
wuss.
the whole thing." She's been fucking finessing us, man. It's like she's a menace, honestly. But we love her anyway, and she's very affectionate. She's one of the easiest cats I've ever met. My um I've never had cats growing up, and people when I was younger, a lot of my friends were dog people, and they're always like, "Oh, you don't want a cat. Cats are horrible. Cats won't like you." And like, she came into this house and she acclimated in like 3 days, and she became very friendly with us super quick, and so she's an absolute sweetheart. And I know I'm not here to like advocate a cat or anything, but she's great.
No, but
Yeah.
like when your animal just vibes with you, it's right. You don't
Yeah.
even need to, like, train them. They just get it,
Yeah. Yeah, no,
you know?
she's
And some animals just won't get it with you,
that's true.
you know?
Yeah.
But like for the most part, like you don't really need to train the right animal when you get it. Like when you and that animal click and you have that understanding, it's like, all right.
Yeah.
But that path to that understanding is different for like each animal.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's always kind of basic, and you either get it or you don't because it's like it's something spiritual.
Mhm.
Like animals are like they receive that energy in a way more pure way than we do.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, where do you plan on taking everything uh, once you get out? Do you have any agenda of your own thus far, or are you just gonna play it by ear?
I
I
do
know it's a
have
big question, so
I mean, I do have a few ideas. When I don't want to dishonor the education I've gone through. I even
Mhm.
when I think when I was in um when we were all in college together, I wanted to do educational filmmaking essentially. But I wanted like I have this goal to educate people in a different way. Um, and so while it's kind of like, well, all of my fields seem like they don't really like overlap anywhere. I want to utilize my film degree and my philosophy degree and my education degree to kind of revolutionize how we teach things. I mean, there's this big problem with the system we have now, with the education system we have now, in a way that it doesn't accommodate every person. That there are so many people who don't do well. Well, I mean, for one, there are people with learning disabilities that we don't accommodate for. But let's just get that out of the way real quick. There are people without any seeable disability or any noticeable disability that have trouble learning in any given environment. And I really don't like that. I mean, personally, I'm someone who has never done great in school. I've never been a good student, you know. I mean, even you guys know when I was in school, I didn't get my assignments done. I tuned out during lectures occasionally. I was never good at getting my readings done. Um, and I had a hard time
You
learning
know,
growing up.
I don't know anyone that honestly did all the reading.
I
No,
never
Like,
same.
read,
Yeah.
by the way, at
dude,
all.
I
Yeah.
feel like everybody showed up and just poker faced in that bitch so bad.
Exactly.
And I used to suffer and feel so dumb. So don't feel bad. Like
Yeah, thank
that's
you.
just some shit that like after a little bit of time, I was like, no, I know I'm not dumb. I'm just not a fast reader.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. Yeah.
And if you want me to read like 80,000 dry ass pages in a night,
Exactly.
like
I didn't read shit
No.
like
at
fuck
all.
you, dog.
Dude,
Tell me about it.
I legitimately thought I was because you guys knew what you were doing, and I was like, fuck, man. Like, I'm so behind. I feel like I'm not doing anything. And, I mean, it's great to hear you guys say that because I know that there are so many other people who are like us. Like, I don't read fast. I don't absorb content that quickly. I prefer audiobooks over reading a regular book because trouble processing words sometimes. Sometimes I look at words on a page and I'll go over it 20 times and nothing goes in my head. Um, and I want that to change. That's, my big thing with going into education. I want to, for one, I want to advocate for students who learn differently. Um, everyone has a different learning style. And for some people, the whole traditional, this shit came from the 50s type of learning works. Some people can do that. But, a lot of us these days, especially with how things are changing and we're always on our screens and stuff, and it's not our fault. Our generation just is how it is, right? But I still want people to be able to learn. I think i think school is a place where people should value learning, and
So
a principle.
how would you do that? How would you go about teaching that?
That's a great question. um i I don't have a great way of doing it just yet. I have ideas for my own classroom. Um, I have ideas of making my lessons more accessible by presenting them in different forms. Technology has a big role to play now in this generation of learning. Um, and, it's great in some ways, it's awful in some ways. Um, I
I
probably would do.
appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, thank you. I know that it sounds like a big mess right now, but there in my education classes now we do talk about these kind of things about how the landscape of education is changing, and fortunately I'm not the one who needs to exclusively lay down this work, but I do intend to once I, get into teaching for long enough um to get on school, and I hope to use my philosophical education to bolster my ability to advocate for these children who might not be doing so well um, with absorbing information, with learning about things. And you know, I I always took my being a bad student for as a sign that I don't like school and I don't like learning. And I mean, I'm back in school now. That's obviously not the case. I love learning. I love learning new things. I love learning about new things. I love trying new things. And um, I realize that I've always been in a system that doesn't serve people like me very well. I've done
We
so much
all learn
learning.
different.
What was that?
We all learn different. Like
Yeah.
when I was in school, I
Mhm.
wasn't gonna learn if I wasn't able to interact. And so
Yeah.
like that's why I wasn't a bad student. I was just super interactive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm gonna talk to you like this has to be like a dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
there's like 80 other people in this fucking classroom right now, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got questions every step of the way, bro.
Yeah.
Like the
And I
whole
will
time.
yeah, and I will say your questions were always so helpful because when I didn't know something, I was like, "Fuck, I'm scared to ask him." Like, and then you would say something like, "Kemper, always there," because I freaking was so lost on some things. And
Well, also I was baked a lot of times. And I was like, hold on, I need to know what's going on.
It always helped. And you know what? There's like it's crazy because like that experience is an experience that so many people have. Like, we some people like to sit and some people like to listen. But some people need that interaction. Some people need dialogue so their brains will be engaged. Um and there's a lot of talk in the educational field about how we need to make the classroom more interactive. And in the past, teachers haven't really done it in a great way. It's forced interaction. Like, oh, do this activity group and make yourself very uncomfortable by like you're forced into an environment where you're not comfortable. But I want to work on making my lessons more interactive, um in a way that like students are comfortable with. And this takes like a lot of time, like research and polls and surveys and stuff, of course, to figure out what people like best. And I know that not one size fits all. It's definitely going to be a difficult thing to figure out, but I do want to be part of that movement that changes how we teach in schools because I want students to love learning again. Um, because so many people like when I was in middle school, I grew up in a lower income area, in elementary school too, technically. Um, and I knew so many kids that they had so many great ideas and they had so many thoughts in their brains, and we would always talk about these things even as kids. And they didn't do good in school, and our teachers kind of blew them off. And I see some people now, and they're not where they want to be in life because they didn't do well in school, even though they loved learning. They always wanted to do something more with their life. They always wanted to learn more about something, but they just didn't do well with the system we had, and I think that's a shame. They felt like they didn't like learning. They felt like they didn't like school when that really was never the case. Um, it was just that the system didn't do well for them, and that's something that just really hits home for me, and I really want to change. I want to change that. I want everyone who comes out of school to love learning. I want everyone to
That's
not
super
feel.
honorable. I
Yeah.
feel like the more that we begin to learn capitalism,
Yeah.
really understand how to un- see our thoughts as valuable, and
Yeah.
then bring that into reality.
Yeah.
That's when you start to see things transform in your life because
Yeah,
you
definitely.
realize, oh, I can get paid to do this.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know,
for sure.
I can get paid to do this.
Mhm.
And it's like some people are gonna get it and some people won't.
Mm.
But they'll have more of a trying shot once they can see their ideas as valuable.
Yeah.
That way you don't feel like you're going into a fight like empty-handed where it's like this person's all the way up here just because they have the financial resources.
Yeah.
When really once you have that level of financial resources and even that level of prestige as say like a Warner Brothers, you need someone like Wonderful Entertainment or like a Liz and we're the kind of people that have those thoughts that are going to
Mhm.
have those movie ideas
Yeah.
that are going to make the money keep coming in, so that
Yeah.
idea is actually looking for money and that
Mhm.
money is looking for an idea, and once
Yeah.
we can start thinking on those terms, people will be able to have more substantial interactions in their own time when they feel like damn nothing's happening for me,
Mhm.
like they don't have to see it like that, you know they can
Yeah.
just be more appreciative with their journey along the way
Yeah.
and all the little successes.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
one day they're gonna get to that person's desk, like I said, and there's gonna be something that's gonna like that person's gonna be like, "Oh, what? I fuck with that about you," and you're like, "Oh, really? Because I dig that. That's really cool." Boom,
Yeah.
and you're in just because.
Some deep
Yeah.
shit, guys.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is the stuff I love talking about though. I know you guys brought me on here to talk about my business and all that, but I know it's kind of panned out to be more about the other stuff in my life.
Hey, we like to just
Yeah.
shoot the shit sometimes. You know.
Um,
Yeah. that's kind of the best way to do it and the best way to catch up. And we want you to know that you have a platform here whenever
Appreciate
you
that.
want. So as you come out with more things, whenever you have any kind of movement that you really want to promote, just let us know. Because that's why we're here. And really, we're gonna have to get a couple stills or something. So if you can get some of those sent over, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because your work is fantastic,
Oh,
and when
thank you.
people see it, like it's so whimsical and magical and ridiculous, like people just feel like they're in a whole other universe when they're looking at it. It's
Oh,
almost
thank
like,
you.
yeah, it's that Walt Disney first time when you see it, type shit, and you're just like mesmerized. So. I'm telling you, someday you gotta like animate a whole like live action joint,
Oh
or
gosh.
you know.
I'm so bad at I'm bad at long-term projects for sure. I mean, when I was actually I think I originally went into film program thinking I was gonna do animation, and like after doing a little bit of animation shit, oh, it's a lot of work and a lot of concentration. I enjoy still work a lot now, and I I've thought about doing like I mean, I've found a really fun place with concept art. Um I like thinking up, these worlds. I like coming up with new ideas. A lot of people, like the people who commission me, tend to, uh, hire me on for those purposes of, hey, I like the way you think about worlds and your ability to, um, bring my world to life. And I like that
Mhm.
a lot.
Yeah, you make it pop
Yeah,
every time. So,
thank you.
um, yeah, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram as RaunTheWonderer. Um, I think that you guys will probably have my tag in the title somewhere. It's RaunThe, and then there's a R because I messed up while typing, and then Wanderer. On Instagram, I'd say that's the best place to find me for now. I don't post that much. I think I've been having I've been having a little bit of a rough time getting my social media updated, but I'm hoping to dive back into it after this convention, and um yeah,
Well,
that's
right
about
Hell
it
on.
for
yeah.
now.
That was a killer podcast, and honestly, it's just so awesome getting to catch up with you. You
Yeah, I
keep
mean,
kicking ass and keep doing your thing. The world needs more Liz.
thank you.
Yeah. So,
Um yeah, I'd love to see you guys again soon and catch up maybe sometime over the summer. We can
mhm.
all, maybe we'll do a meetup and it would be great to talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We can definitely try and coordinate something.
yeah, be great.
Hell yeah.
All right. Good night.
Good night, guys. Thank you for
Later.
putting up with me so late. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
guys have a good one.
You too.
Yeah. Later.
Bye.